in that I feel like we're so far ahead of where we've been in the past couple seasons. And obviously, COVID, it seems like it's a long way in our rearview mirrors now, but it really hasn't been. And so I'm assuming all teams feel that way, that they're ahead. But I'm very optimistic going into this year. I know polls. I haven't put a great deal of time in looking at the polls. I know we were slotted for seventh. Don't feel like there's any way that's where we're going to finish. I think we're going to be pressing upwards within the standings. Obviously, it's a very strong league, and you can improve and not gain much ground just because of the strength of our conference. But I feel really good, and I feel like we're way ahead of where we've been in the past few years as we go into the season. And my optimism is founded more from the back end. Our goaltending now is as good as it's been in a long time. And Logan Stein's now going into his third year. He's in tremendous shape. He's seen a lot of not only minutes, but important minutes for us in big games. Probably played more early on than he should have, just given our situation. And then we added Noah Geisbrecht last year at Christmas, transfer from University of Windsor. And Noah is outstanding as well. These two goaltenders both have a chance to be special and play well beyond collegiate hockey. They're good size. They're athletic. They're technically sound, and we're so far ahead of where we've been in the past. And right there, you've got to have good goaltending. That's just the ante to sit at the table. On defense, which we've been very young, it seems like it's been going on forever. All of a sudden now we've got four fourth-year seniors, as well as a fifth-year senior transfer, and Matt Slick, who was captain at Holy Cross, transferred here, given the fact that Holy Cross didn't have master's programs. We do, and what he's looking for. So all of a sudden now, they're going to be joined by a couple of juniors and Ben Schulteis and Luke Farthing. And we've got a good addition on defense, freshman by the name of Matt Schaudy. So our back end, we're experienced, and we're deeper than we've been, and goals against has been a problem the last few years, but I don't see it continuing. Obviously, beyond the goaltending, it's team defense as well. I think our area biggest unknown is up front. We return a lot of players. We add some very good players to the mix. But yet, and you hope it emerges, but, I look and I say, do we have the top end players to fill the power play units? And with the day, I don't know that I look around and see maybe at Gerald Mayhew that we could say going into the season, he's good for 20 to 25 goals. I don't know how many teams actually have that. I think we're deep up front, but we need some players to emerge offensively. And so that'll be our big challenge. Two newcomers up front that have looked really good so far. Connor McGrath, who was a Canadian Junior Player of the Year last year. We actually brought him in a year earlier than we anticipated, but his development has proven that he was ready, as well as Tyler Schleppe from British Columbia. So those two have looked really good up front. I think they can fill top 9 roles. The opportunity will be there. I had an opportunity to listen to Coach Eigner before I got on here, and we're kind of maybe up front where he was at last year, where we are a little younger up there, but we hope to, I think we've got the talent for that to emerge. Bradley Merrick up front, who was the Rookie of the Year last year in the CCHA, has looked good as well. So, we've got some firepower up front. It's just, do we have enough depth in scoring? And obviously injuries it'll hit all the teams in the CCHA. It is a long season, and it's how do you have the depth to overcome that? I think we do in the back end. Just some concerns at the front end.
Thanks, Bob. Any questions for Coach Daniels? Make sure to raise your hand. I have one here. How has the transition back to the CCHA affected your program positively?
Yeah. Well, at first, it's a great conference, and it's a lot of programs. In their communities, it means a great deal. If you look at all the programs within our conference, hockey's a big deal on their campus and their community. Great coaches. I think obviously travel too has been lessened, which I like. But this will be really like the first real year that we've had that hasn't been COVID related in terms of the CCHA coming back. But it reminds me of the days, the old CCHA, where there was very, very good programs within the conference, and there was depth of strong programs within the conference. And I think even last year, there's not a weekend off. There really isn't. And I think you can see where St. Thomas was a good addition to our conference a year ago, and they're going to be that much stronger under Coach Blasey. So it's very similar to the old CCHA in that there are no off weekends.
Dylan has a question for you.
Dylan Ryder with the Fair State Torch. How you doing, Coach?
Good, Dylan. How are you?
I'm doing well. I've talked to a few of the players before the season is getting underway here. They're kind of echoing what you're saying about how you kind of expect us, or the team, to be a little better than what's projected, with the players kind of holding a be ready mentality. Is this coming from you, or is this kind of just a team thought process?
Well, yeah, I know there's a lot of optimism. There always is with the start of each year, but our optimism is well founded, I think. And a lot of it is driven by the players. I think we've got some great leadership going on in the locker room. We haven't named captains yet, just because I think we have a lot of candidates, and I don't anticipate naming a captain until partway through the season. That's not because we don't have candidates for it. It's just we have a number of candidates, and I want to make sure we make the right choice on that. Yeah, I think we can do quite a bit better than where we're projected in the standings. This has got a good feel. There's a good culture right now, a good chemistry. The guys have put the work in over the summer in terms of strength and conditioning. So I think there's a lot to be optimistic about. And we look forward to, I think we're at the point now where we want to play a game. We look forward to the opening weekend against Miami. Obviously, two teams with a lot to prove, two teams that want to get off to a good start. Should be a great weekend of hockey. But, I'm at the point now, and I know the players are way ahead of me in this, but it's time to play a game. That first weekend is so important in terms of being able to assess where you're at. You know your strengths, but do you know your weaknesses? And usually in that first weekend, it gives you a lot of things that you take away, and you know that you need to work on.